Hey there, this is Kevin from MaximizingEcommerce.com. This video is for all of you out there who are trying to manage starting up your e-commerce business while also having a day job or a night job, but either way, another job on the side. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to balance that side business with your day job. So first off, the best thing to do, just to cut right into this, is get clear on what your why is. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to put yourself through the pain and anguish? Because sometimes let's be honest, it's not easy having a side gig. But the reason you're probably doing it is probably something on the lines of you want to make some extra money. Well, why do you want to make extra money? Is it you want to pay off some debt? Is it you want to pay off a specific debt? You want to pay off your student loan? Is it you want to pay off your car? Do you want to use this to create a little bit of breathing room for yourself financially? Do you have bigger aspirations that you want to make this into one-time replacement for your full-time job, something that's going to far exceed what you're making currently in your full-time job? Because what's going to end up happening is you're only human. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. And sometimes it doesn't even make sense why some days are good and some days are bad. But whenever you have the days where you're just not feeling up to it, the more you have a clear why that you can refer back to, ideally something that's written down, it's going to help propel you through those bad days. So be very clear on your why and why you're doing it. Do you want more time freedom? Do you want the ability to go on certain vacations? Do you want to be able to travel? You want the flexibility of having your own business? You want the pride of the creativity that goes into creating a business? I mean, whatever it is for you, there's a whole lot of reasons of why you might want to do it. Write them down so that you can go back and realize, you know what, this is why I'm doing this, because you will have some bad days. So understand also your employer's expectations. Now, for one, and this is going to go pretty much without saying with any job, they're going to want you to do whatever it is that they hired you to do and they're paying you to do while you're there and when they're expecting you to pay, or they're paying you to do it. So if they expect you to be there from 9 to 5 and doing accounting or waiting tables or construction work or whatever it is you do, then you do that. And you do that to the best of your ability and you be the best at that. Then from 5 to 9 or whenever your off time is, that's when you're going to focus on your business. Don't try to do business while you're at your job. Your employer's not going to like it, could put you in some potential hot water, and you want to be fair to the employer. So if the employer, you're there only as a means to an end until you get your business built up to a certain point, well, you know what? You want to do the best for them while they're taking care of you so that you have the ability to focus on in your off time and financially able to focus on your business. So you want to take good care of your employer. So while you're at your employer, be there. But when you're not at your employer, focus on the time that you have, be laser focused in. When you try to do both and try to mix the two together, it's just a mess. And it could probably lead to hard feelings, especially on your employer's side, and nothing good's really going to come out of that. Now, know the rules that you agreed to. Now, some companies may have some sort of non-compete, non-solicitation, some sort of non-disclosure agreement that you signed, and you want to make sure that whatever it is you're doing doesn't conflict with that, because it could put you in potential hot water. So, if it was something that was going to be a deal breaker for you, then maybe you have to look into another employer or whatever the case is. But if you're there, you agree to certain rules, so you want to make sure that you're following by the rules. Now, in most cases, it's probably not going to be a conflict. The fact that you're selling goods on the side on the internet, as long as it's not something that's competing directly with your employer. So if you're a purchasing person at your job and you're sourcing product from the same company as that you do in your employer, then that would probably be a conflict of interest. But outside of that, in most cases, it's probably not going to be an issue, but you just want to just double check, dot your I's, cross your T's, and whenever in doubt, just be honest. Chances are, if you just have a casual conversation with your boss and say, hey, this is what I'm doing on the side, they're probably going to be envious of you because you had the guts to do that and say, oh, wow, Well, tell me more about that. And in most cases, it's probably not going to be anything major. They're probably not going to get upset. Probably, if anything, they're probably going to respect you for the fact that you were honest about it. But know the temperature of where it is you work. But in my honest assessment is, whenever in doubt, just be honest. That way, if it ever comes up, you can always say, well, I did tell my boss that I was doing this on the side. Then it shouldn't be an issue. Oops. Now, you want to make sure that you also set clear goals for yourself. So make sure you write them down. Otherwise, they're just dreams if you don't write down your goals. So you want to have long-term goals, long-term vision, really. So think long-term, but in the short term, what is it you're focusing on? And you may have heard of this acronym for follow one course of action until successful. So whatever it is you're trying to do, focus on, one major task at a time. Whenever in doubt, break down the tasks into smaller subtasks. So, for example, if you were going to source a product, it would be you're going to reach out to certain suppliers. You would find out about, packaging. You would find out about, freight forwarders and what the cost would be. You would find out, whatever the steps are that you're at, just write those down and just cross them off your list as you get to each point. Then kind of think of it this way. You want to operate in 90-day sprints. And this is a concept that I've really gravitated towards. So if you look at a 90-day sprint, it's essentially 3 months. It's a quarter of the year. So you may say your focus for a 90-day period is going to be, you're going to focus on driving more traffic to your store. So if you have a store on, like, let's say Shopify or Ecommerce, you're going to work on driving traffic to that store, and you're going to try different things, and maybe specifically what you're going to focus on during that 90-day sprint is going to be Google product ads. So that's going to be your focus, and you're going to work on all those different things. Because if you try too many things at one time, you're just going to stretch yourself thin, and you're not going to be effective at anything. So if you get through 3 90-day sprints and you've done 3 major things to help grow your business, chances are you're probably going to be ahead than if you try to do those 3 things all at once over the course of 9 months. Hopefully that makes sense. Then you want to think of it in terms of, there's almost in your business 2 U's. There's 2 functions that you're doing. And this is a concept I've heard from a podcast called Fizzle. And they talk about, there's the worker bee and the CEO. So you've got 2 different modes in your business. So the CEO is the planning type. So when you're planning, you're in CEO mode. When you're working, you're operating in the worker bee mode. Now, you don't want to try to do both, especially not at the same time. Now, there's going to be times you're just going to have to slog ahead and just do the hard work and, product sourcing, working on advertising, working on finding partnerships with other people, whatever it is that you're working on. You want to be crystal clear about what it is, but you want to try to plan that at a time other than when you're just staring at your computer saying, oh, what do I do next? So if you can devise a to-do list for yourself when you're in CEO mode. Okay, what are the things that I need to do to, let's say, whatever your 90-day sprint is, or however it is that you decide to focus on your time. So you say, okay, here's the things I need to do. Now, one of the things that I gravitated towards when I heard this concept from Fizzle was, think of it in the concept that your CEO mode is almost a different person than worker bee mode. And if you think about it, like when you have all these thoughts and all these things that catch your attention, what you write down in one moment, minutes later, you may look at that and say, what was I trying to get across? So the way I heard this on Fizzle, which kind of gravitated in my mind, was think of it as future you. So if you're in CEO mode and you're writing something down for tasks for worker bee you in the future to be working on, future you is an idiot. And that really made a lot of sense to me. Like, wow, because it's so true that I personally could be sitting in front of a computer looking at my to-do list. And if I didn't say explicitly, using verbs, for example, call this person at this time to discuss whatever, it's probably not going to happen. Or I'm going to spend too much mental energy if I just write down like the person's name. Well, what was it I was trying to do? Or, if I want to source a certain product, don't just write the name of the product. Say, something to the effect of reach out to at least 10 potential suppliers for X product on Alibaba. So, and even taking it to the next level, by X date at X time. So it's crystal clear in my mind when I'm looking at, okay, this is what I have to do. Because if I just try to look up Acme widgets, whatever the case is, I'm probably going to forget what it is I was trying to do. I'm trying to put in too much mental energy of what it was. And the clearer you are with yourself in CEO mode, the better your results will be in worker bee mode. And I found this to be completely true. Also, find like-minded individuals. I cannot stress how important this is. Because if you're in your job all day long and you do whatever it is at your job, you're surrounded by other people who think the same way. If you're in e-commerce, if you're doing e-commerce on the side, and you work in a completely different industry, if you try to explain what it is that you do, you're just going to get blank stares or, that's interesting. And even if people truly are genuinely interested in what you have to say, it's not going to be a flowing conversation. It's not going to be one of those things that they're going to offer you ideas that are going to fit with what it is that you're working on. Maybe big picture, they can tell you, oh, that's a good idea for a product, or that's not a good idea for a product, or yes, I would buy that, or I would change this. And you could take it with a grain of salt or move forward with their feedback, whatever the case is. But if you truly want to get better at this, you got to find other people that are doing the same thing. So things that you could do would be, go to meetups. So you could look up, find meetups in your area, people talking about e-commerce, selling on Amazon, whatever the case is. You could participate in Facebook groups. There's a lot of really good Facebook groups out there. Some that are really active, that, people are providing a lot of value. If you do go in Facebook groups, don't just be one of those people that goes in and just asks questions. Try to respond to people. So no matter where you are in your journey, even if you're just starting out, you're always going to be a little bit ahead of someone else, or you're at least going to have opinions that could help someone else. Now, always focus on being helpful and providing value to others when you are in Facebook groups or forums or whatever the case is. If possible, join a mastermind. Try to find people that are around the same level that you're at selling, or maybe even a little bit above. Now, if you're just starting to get to selling, you probably don't want to get into a mastermind with all people that are doing 7 figures a month. But if you're selling, let's say $10,000 in sales a month, being around people that are selling $20,000 to $50,000 a month could be helpful for you. And you could probably still provide value to them because everybody's looking to kind of grow to whatever that next level is. And having a couple other people in your mastermind that maybe are a little bit not quite to the same level that you are could also be beneficial, because you could be teaching them. And I can tell you from personal experience, when you teach something and you're able to mentor people, it really proves to you that you know more and gives you more confidence, and makes you a better student because you're learning as you're teaching. And if that does not make sense, go out and find somebody to help mentor. Also, if possible, try to attend conferences. Now, this might be, maybe you're in a spot where you're just starting out. Maybe you don't have the money to attend conferences, but, find a conference that's in the future and just put a little bit of money off to the side. Maybe every month, a little bit of your profits, maybe take $100 and put it off to the side and pick a conference you want to go to in a year. So always kind of have something that you're shooting for and looking towards in the future. And attending a conference could be one of those things, because that's going to give you a lot of access to a lot of people. It's one thing to be talking to people on the internet, or even on the phone, but if you're able to face-to-face meet with people that have similar goals, are like-minded individuals, you're going to really grow and really benefit from that. Now, here's some medicine that I really want to offer to you. And I'm not just offering this to you, I'm offering it to myself, because sometimes I am horrible at taking this advice. But don't be too hard on yourself. We get so caught up and we've got all these things to do and we start stressing ourselves out that, sometimes we miss the point. It's all about what is most important to you. And that's generally going to be the people and the experiences in your life. So for me, that's me with my beautiful family. And the thing of it is, you can't get the other people back in your lives, but you can always start another business. So at the end of the day, you got to always put things in perspective. Now, if you're working for the people in your lives, that could be something that propels you forward, but don't let that overtake the fact that those are the people in your lives or the experiences you're going to have. You still got to live. You get one chance on this planet, this beautiful planet with so much opportunity, so many things to do. You get one shot here. So don't blow it by spending all your time trying to be one of those people that I'm going to build the biggest business in 6 months and I'm going to be rich. You know what? Don't get too caught up in that. So I don't know who to attribute this particular quote to, but this is something that's resonated with me. It's this concept that we overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we could do in like 5 years. We set these grandiose, and this is something, gosh, I'm really guilty of, setting these grandiose plans and ideas and goals of what I'm going to do in a year or what I'm going to do in a week, or what I'm going to do in a month. And I can tell you my to-do list is never fully checked off because I'm always adding to it. Always, oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And I never do. And sometimes I end up stressing myself out. But you know what? Put it in perspective. If you look back at what you've done, sometimes you can look in amazement and say, wow, I really have done quite a bit here in the last month or in the last year, in the last 2 years, whatever the case is. And so just over time, there's that compound effect. It's really going to build up. And a good book that if you have the chance to read it, or if you're like me and you like audiobooks, go out and listen to or read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. He talks a lot about this concept of, just little things add up over time. Think of all the things you're doing as like you're filling up a bucket. Now, you may be filling up a bucket that's a 5-gallon bucket, but you're filling it up with, drop by drop. But over time, that's going to fill up more. And maybe each drop you put in, eventually you can invest some of those drops into getting something that now you're pouring cups instead of drops. That eventually you can start filling this bucket up faster and faster. But over time, even if you're just doing drop by drop, eventually that bucket will fill up. So don't be too hard on yourself. And again, I'm giving myself this advice as I'm saying it. So do what you can do to, propel yourself forward, but don't beat yourself up too much if you haven't gotten to exactly where you want to get at that particular moment. If you look at your to-do list and you say, oh my gosh, there's all these things I should be doing and I haven't gotten to them all yet. If you haven't gotten to them all yet, that's fine. Just keep moving forward. Don't let progress be impeded by trying to be perfect at everything, because you'll never be perfect, but you can keep moving forward. So, did you find this video helpful? If you did, I would ask kindly that you click the little thumbs up button down below, as well as subscribe to the channel. There's also a little notifications bell. If you do that, we can make sure to let you know every time that we have new videos that come out. And also, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on if you have a full-time job or a part-time job or any other demands that you have in your life that you're balancing with running your e-commerce business, or starting up your e-commerce business, or whatever it is. What are the things that you're working on? How do you balance it? I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. So also, feel free to visit us at www.maximizingecommerce.com, and we will be able to, if you sign up for our emailing list, we'll be able to send you more tips and exclusive resources so you can help grow that business, that dream of yours, and you can maximize your results. So thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video, and you have a wonderful day.